Project Boro is now available as a podcast on your chosen podcast providers, so you can listen to every episode on the go. Simply go to the description of this video, click the link to the podcast provider of your choice, and subscribe or follow Project Boro, and you'll be able to find all episodes past, present and future right there for you to listen to on the go. Boro's final away game of the season ended in style as they blew away Cardiff in one of the best second half performances of the season.
He's in, and he's snuck it across to Hayden Hockley!
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're discussing Boro's penultimate game of the season, their final away trip down to the Welsh capital, as we went down to Cardiff and come away with a 4-1 win in a second half performance that was absolutely outstanding. It is up there for me as one of the best halves of football from Boro all season. And this run that we've been on since that Stoke defeat, of course the Leeds defeat is a blip in the middle of it, but we shouldn't have lost that game due to refereeing decisions. The overall run that Boro have been on at the end of this season has been amazing. And the big picture is that these are all real positive signs that should only excite fans massively for next season. We're seeing certain players click. We're seeing players in fantastic form. We had another assist for Luke Ayling here. Azaz had maybe one of his best games. Lath scored again. And we were introduced to Alex Gilbert starting, maybe his first start. It might be his second. He's not had many minutes. That's all I will say. And we saw one of the best performances at 10 this season by any Boro player, and from a young player who's barely had a sniff this season. It was honestly positives from top to bottom here from Boro, and as I say, fantastic end to the season. Of course, it is a tad frustrating that it comes with nothing to play for, and it's maybe a case that this is how Boro are when there is no pressure on and when we can just go out there and play our football regardless of the consequences, and maybe under pressure with something to play for we might still have some work to do. But everything we're seeing at the moment carried over into next season for me only stems us in good stead. We were absolutely brilliant here. Now it was, I would say, a story of two halves in this game. The first half wasn't one for the highlight reel. It was an interesting half between two sides who I would say were cancelling each other out. I think we edged the first half. We had a few more openings than I think they did overall. I think we edged it in terms of the openings we created and how we were on the ball. But there were a few moments in this game which I think were very pivotal, especially in the first half, where Cardiff had big chances. They had big moments. The first come from Boro giving the ball away in midfield, Dan Barlaser with a really poor touch. And it was a fantastic effort. I can't recall who it was who tried to lob Senny. I thought for all the world this was in. It looked like it was just going to loop into the back of the net, and it would be a typical Boro goal to concede when we've been in the game. The opposition haven't done much to really warrant an opener, and then they go and do that from a Boro error. But Senny Dieng, like a cat, he claws the ball from out of the air and gets enough behind it to tip it over the bar. It was a brilliant save from Senny. Great reaction, great reflexes, fantastic save. And again, Boro hang on in there. We had a couple of chances as well though. Latte Lath was played in. He had a one-on-one against Horvath? And it was a good save from their goalkeeper. So we both had openings. But it was Boro who got the lead, and it took all the way up until the end of the first half. It looked for all that it's worth we were going to go in at 0-0, and you'd sort of look at it and go, well, both sides have huffed and puffed, but this looks like a game that might just peter out. And little did we know what the second half would bring. But Boro broke the deadlock just before the first half, and it was Matt Clarke's first goal for the club. And I'm delighted for him. I think he has been outstanding. I think he has rightfully entered the conversation as one of our players of the season, given his absence of over a year due to a back injury prior to this season. He had to obviously come in at the start of December, I think it was, when he was almost ready, but not, I would say, quite ready to be brought in, and he was brought in that game away at Leeds, and since then he's found his foot, and he's been a fantastic addition to Borough's defence. I think especially given the injury problems we've had, having him around has been a massive benefit. But on top of that, not just because of squad numbers, his performances have been outstanding. You know, he is such a great defender in terms of how he reads the game. You know, the clearances, the headers, the aerial duels that he wins. He's also, I think, underrated on the ball. He's left-footed, so he gives us a very good balance on the left-hand side, and I think, you know, he deserves to get on the score sheet, and I'm delighted he got his first Boro goal. Azaz with a brilliant ball in from the left. Clarke manages to get a leg out ahead of the Cardiff player, and it goes in off the bar. It was weird after this goal went in. Everyone sort of stopped and looked around. I don't know if we were expecting a offside call or a foul on a Cardiff player. I don't quite know. I sort of stopped for a second and waited, because I wasn't sure if the goal was given. It was weird, but yeah, it broke the deadlock, and I think that possibly opened the floodgates up to what happened second half. But Boro edged an okay first half. You know, it was a bit of a tussle from both sides, who arguably had chances, and it could have gone either way. But then the second half, oh boy, Boro turned it up. We were absolutely brilliant in that second half, and within a 15-minute spell, we absolutely wiped the floor with Cardiff and took the game away from them. And it reminded me of Boro from last season, you know, and there's always been a lot of comparisons to Boro's team from last season, when we had Akpom and Archer and Ramsey and Giles, and how, regardless of whether we went 1-0 down or whatever the circumstances, whoever we were playing, we just thought, we're going to outscore you. And we would have a period within games where we would blitz the opposition, and the game would go from being a tight, level game to Boro's in a matter of minutes. And we don't see that very often from Boro, you know. Sometimes we might take a while to break a team down, we might have a flurry, but we'll miss a few chances. This was clinical, this was ruthless in this 15-minute spell. Azaz, who again, I'll get onto, was outstanding. He got a goal as well, no less than what he deserved. Bit of good fortune, I will admit. Boro, when they were playing the ball from the left-hand side, Barlasser did well in the build-up to this one. Gilbert, really good feet in and around a lot of blue shirts. Does well, to be fair. Nearly gets through all of Cardiff's defence, to be fair, but it does ricochet back off him. Comes to Azaz, but in fairness, Azaz still has the anticipation and the quick reaction to pounce on the loose ball and dink it beautifully over the goalkeeper to make it 2-0. And Azaz, he's had some really good games, especially away from home. You know, he had a good game away at Leicester. He had a good game away at Southampton. He's had another good game away here. He had an assist. He's got a goal. He wasn't done. But yeah, good play in the build-up. Good play from Gilbert. Azaz pouncing and finishing extremely well. And then 7 minutes later, we go 2 goals up, or 3 goals up, should I say. And it was the man who is absolutely unstoppable at the minute. He's unstoppable. He is the most in-form striker in the Championship. This was his 10th goal in 11 games. He is inevitable. Emmanuel Latte Lath again scoring. It's just incredible, the run he's on. It doesn't matter how many weeks go by, how many goals he scores. I'm still blown away by the trajectory this lad is on and the form he is in. And this was another different goal, but a very good goal. We've seen glimpses of him doing this earlier in the season, but maybe not always finishing at the end of it. But his pace is an unbelievable attribute that, you know, I'd like to see us utilise as much as we possibly can in behind, and that's what we did here. Azaz picks the ball up. Cardiff have obviously committed men forward, and he makes that run in behind. And he's onside because he's in his own half when the ball is played. But Azaz with another assist. He's had 2 assists and 1 goal. Played a part in all 3 of Boro's 3 goals this far. And Latte Lath in behind. But we saw earlier in the season, when he was played in, he would keep running, almost like he wasn't thinking, and he would just wait for something to happen. Again, great composure here, because there are 2 Cardiff defenders, one who is pretty much on his shoulder. He still stays composed, he still ensures that he brings the ball down, takes a few touches, and then he unleashes a left-footed strike, which is absolutely unstoppable. It flies into the back of the Cardiff goalkeeper's net, and Latte Lath runs away celebrating another goal And I just pray he keeps this up going into next season. I really do. I think we're beyond a streak at this point. You know, you get streaky strikers who have a run where they'll score 4 or 5 games in a row and then they'll go quiet for 6, 7 or 8 or 9 or 10. And then they'll have another brief purple patch. You know, they're streaky strikers. You can't rely on them over a prolonged period. I'd like to think now we are beyond that with Lath. This isn't just a fluke. This isn't just a purple patch that has disappeared and he's returned back to the striker he maybe was earlier in the season. I honestly see a player who is just growing with confidence, getting to grips with the league, getting to grips with his teammates, who are certainly, I think, learning his runs, his movement, when to play him in. And I think Carrick's alluded to this quite a bit, and this is something that only takes time to develop, the wavelength between players. And I think that is something that maybe we've had to wait for in a lot of circumstances this season, with a lot of new young players coming in. It has took a lot longer for some to gel than others, but I think you're seeing this with Azaz, you're seeing this with Lath, among many. They're starting to get to grips with each other. They're starting to know where each other's going to be, and that was the case here. Azaz straight away, head up. He's in behind Lath, and it's such a good finish. And yeah, 10 in 11 for Manu. And yeah, please keep this up, because if he does, you know, golden boot contender for next season, without a doubt. And please keep fit as well. Another player who was amazing today, he got Borough's 4th on the hour, only 4 minutes later, and it was Alex Gilbert, a player who has been on the periphery of Borough's squad for large parts of the season, but despite, you know, injuries, an injury crisis pretty much throughout the whole season, where we've been literally without the 10 to 14 senior players at times, he still never quite got his place in the team. He still never was quite given a run. And we're finally seeing him have minutes. And if you count, I guess, it might be his assist for Azaz's goal. It did ricochet back off him. Gilbert's had 3 assists now. And I think he's played maybe just a game and a half's worth of minutes in total. Obviously, he got an assist for Lath against Leeds with that through ball over the top for Lath's header. He got another assist a few weeks earlier. He's got an assist today, and then he took this goal so well. And it come from the right-hand side. Luke Ayling back in today. He's got another assist. Is it 7? 6 or 7 assists for Luke Ayling himself. Great ball back from him into a fantastic area. And Alex Gilbert, I believe he's right-footed. He takes it first time with his weaker foot, and he puts it right in the top bin. It is such a technically brilliant finish. You know, it could have sliced off his foot, he could have got under it, it could have been tame, it could have been weak, it could have been anywhere, but he just pings it right into the top corner. And again, like a lot of Boro players on the score sheet today, he deserved it. You know, I was blown away a little bit by Gilbert, because I think it's that we still don't quite know what he is, or where he should play, or what his position is. And I guess when we've seen him make cameos before, he's been coming in off the left at times, but today he was the 10. You know, Azaz was moved out to the left, Gilbert was the 10, and he was so good. I was like, where has this come from? He was fantastic. You know, so often during the game, he would do what Messi does. Now, I'm not comparing him to Messi. Don't get, you know, before you start saying I'm getting overexcited, but he would just walk around the pitch. You know, he wouldn't sprint. He wouldn't go after the ball. He would always be looking for space. You know, in and around their midfield, between the lines, he would just waltz around the pitch, picking up space, picking up pockets, and he'd pick up the ball and then he'd do something with it. He was so good picking the ball up on the half turn, knowing already where his teammates are. Like, he's got a picture in his head of, right, I'm in space, my teammates are here, here and here. As soon as he picks up the ball, he plays it out to a teammate, he keeps the moves going. He played some very good balls to the right hand side, to the left hand side, and he's very technically good. There's been so many upcoming players that I think have caught Borough's eye this season, or caught the eye of the fans, that have us excited for next season. Gilbert's gone under the radar, I think, and this was a breakout performance for me. I genuinely believe that. I thought he was absolutely incredible, and why it's took him this long to get into the team, I don't know, but I hope we'll see more of him. And, you know, there was talk of, well, we should probably loan him out next season because he's clearly not in Carrick's plans. I looked at him today and I thought, this kid's got to be in Borough's squad next season, because he looked at home he looked a cut above at times. Yeah, it's only one game. It's only one start in that position, but very promising signs from Alex Gilbert. He was outstanding. Anyway, unfortunately, obviously Boro brought a lot of young lads on towards the end of the game, end of the season, give a lot of the younger lads some minutes, rest a lot of our big players. Makes perfect sense. Sadly, Boro did not manage a clean sheet. We gave Cardiff a goal at the very end in stoppage time. It was the sort of goal where, we have literally dropped off. Concentration has gone. We're playing it around. Dieng literally hands it to one of their players who squares it. I don't know if he takes a shot or squares it. Comes to Bowler, who has a free shot in at goal. And to be fair, Josh Bowler was probably their best player. I thought he provided a real threat on the right-hand side at times. So if there was one Cardiff player who you could say deserved a goal, it was probably Josh Bowler. But it was a shame for Senny. He'd made 2 good saves. I mentioned the one earlier. He made another good save when Boro were 1-0 up. Actually, I think it was Ashford who had a header that Senny tipped onto the post, and that was at 1-0. So had that gone in, would have been 1-1. So Senny made 2 big saves in 2 very big key moments in the game, and it's a shame that I guess that error led to a Cardiff goal and essentially him losing his clean sheet. But no blemish on the result for Boro. This was an outstanding performance, and again, it's annoying it comes with nothing to play for, but you can only be positive and optimistic by our overall form and the fact that, again, this is a Boro side without so many key players. You look at the defence alone, no Tommy Smith, no Dale Fry, no Paddy McNair, no Darrell Lenihan. Engel didn't start here. Bangura come off the bench. Midfield, we've got no Hackney. O'Brien wasn't playing here. Even in the attacking areas, Force is injured. McGree is injured. It's crazy, really, to still think of all the injuries we've had and we're putting in performances like this. A fully fit Boro side next season with even more added quality. Hopefully, we stay away from another injury crisis and we just are a little bit more consistent in terms of beating lower league sides or lower end league sides who are towards the bottom, and we continue to beat teams at the top as we have done, and we don't give them a head start. There's no reason to not be so excited for what we might do next season. As I mentioned, I've mentioned a lot of the Boro team and a lot of outstanding performers out there. As I mentioned, Dieng, great saves at times, at really key moments, I think, as well. I thought the back four all did really well. There's not one of them who I thought was poor. I thought they all did well. I think Thomas did well up against Bowler, given he was their best threat, but Clarke and Rav were brilliant once again. Ayling with another assist. Howson and Barlasser did okay. Obviously, Barlasser nearly gifted the opposition a goal. He likes to do that once a game. I thought they were both decent enough. And yeah, out of all the attackers, I think Isaiah Jones was probably the quietest of the 4. Didn't have as much of an impact on the game. But, when Azaz and Gilbert put in the performance that they did, an assist for Gilbert, a goal for him, 2 assists and a goal for Azaz, and obviously Lath scoring again. It's easy to maybe not look as good, but yeah, Gilbert, Azaz and Lath as a trio were unbelievable, and I just can't wait to see again how they grow. I can't wait to see how they improve over the coming months and years at this football club. We had a couple of really nice substitutes. Silvera come on, new hairstyle for him. We're entering the braided era of Sammy Silvera. Hopefully that means he's going to grow as a player. Law McCabe come on. He's made a debut before, but it was good to see him get some minutes. Anthony Dykesdale as well come on. AJ Matthews got his second appearance for the Boro, and Charlie Lennon come on and made his debut, meaning he is officially number 998 in terms of Boro players who've made their debut. We're getting very close to number 1,000. As for the stats then, it's quite interesting though to see the XG. Cardiff actually edged the XG, which is strange. Possession was fairly equal, but Boro scored 4 from an XG of 1.5, so maybe this is an anomaly. Maybe it is us finally massively overperforming our XG, but I'm absolutely all for it. And again, you look at the shots, Cardiff had 15. They had more shots than we did, 4 on target, only got the 1 goal. Boro at 12, 7 on target, 4 of them goals. Very clinical from us, which is what you want to see. And then the table, of course, it doesn't really mean much at this moment in time. Both of us, Boro and Cardiff, obviously, season's over now, but Boro jump up to 8th, overtaking Coventry, 6 points off the playoffs as it be, with only 1 game for us to play, which is Watford at home next weekend. So it very much looks like Boro will be finishing 8th or 9th, I believe, which is exactly where I thought we were going to finish, to be honest. But yeah, I repeat, given the circumstances that have sort of hindered Boro all season long, to still finish 8th is a fantastic achievement. And again, I mentioned it before, fully fit squad. with even more quality, hopefully with a good start, and beating teams we should be beating at the bottom. Playoffs should be the very least that we should be looking at next season, and that for me makes me very excited for what's to come by this Boro side. So then, next weekend, the curtain comes down on our championship campaign. We host Watford on the final day. I won't be at that game. I'm away next weekend. I'm actually going to the Crucible to watch the World Snooker Championships, which is my actual favourite sport. I don't know if you guys were aware, but snooker's actually my favourite sport. And I'm heading to watch the Worlds next weekend. So I won't be at the Boro game, and I'll be returning home Sunday. So you might get a Project Boro from me maybe Monday after the final game of the season, and then obviously after that we'll look ahead at season reviews, looking at certain other content in regards to individual players, summer transfer window, and other general championship content. We've done quite a few on the channel of late, and they've done really well. The video looking at who might go down has done really well on the channel, as well as the one on who might get promoted. So I'm glad the general championship content's doing well, and I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. But we'll certainly wrap things up after next week's game. I just hope Boro can give the home fans a send-off that they deserve with a good win at home to Watford, who themselves are as mid-table as it gets. 14th they currently sit. Their season is over. They're 10 points behind us as it stands. But that's it for today, guys. If you've enjoyed this video, do hit the like button as always and subscribe for much more. Do leave a comment in the section below with your thoughts. And if you're listening on the old podcast providers, do give me a like, a rating and a follow over there as always, and I'll be back probably during the week. I might bring another video out before the Watford game, which I will then review when I'm back home early the following week. But until then, do take care, guys. A big thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.